In today's Tutorial Tuesday, we are going to talk about how to read a pattern. And I just got this little pattern book. I had picked this up at Walmart, I believe, long time ago. And I just had it in my stash. And this is the pattern. It would be for a crochet wrap. I never actually did this project, but that's okay. But when you're looking at a crochet pattern, one of the first things you're going to want to look at is the skill level. Okay, if you are a beginner, you're going to definitely want to choose one that is easy, and that's what this is. This is an easy skill level. Then it will tell you what the finished project is going to measure, how long it will be, and then it will give you a materials list. Now, if you remember from our last lesson, we talked about weight of yarn, and so we know that a size 4 on the symbol on the label means medium weight or worsted weight yarn. And then it will tell you how many you will need, how many skeins you will need for the project. And you will need, in this case, 1 skein each of the 5 colors. So you will need 5 skeins of yarn, 1 in each color that you choose. Now, if you want to do your project exactly the same as what's pictured, a lot of patterns will even give you the exact brand and exact lot number for the color and everything that is used in the original project. Then it will tell you what size crochet hook you need to use. And this is the US. I know that Europe's sizing system is different than the US, and it would say EU if it was European size. Then it'll tell you what kind of extras you'll need, like yarn needles or stitch markers or any of that kind of thing. Then it will tell you the gauge, and this is where you will want to do a swatch, a practice swatch to make sure your gauge and your tension is the same. It says here that 30 double crochets should equal 10 inches and 11 rows should be 8 inches tall. So if you're really a stickler and you want to make sure that your pattern turns out exactly right, then you will want to do a practice swatch 30 stitches long by 11 rows high, and then you would measure it to make sure that it equals 10 inches by 8 inches. And this one, it does say to check your gauge, and then like I talked about in a previous video, if you need to change your size hook to obtain gauge, then you do that. And then it gets into the pattern stitch. If there's a specific pattern stitch that you need to use, it will tell you exactly what you need to do. And this is when you get started on the project. In the case of this project, there is a right side and a wrong side to the project, and so you know that your first row, that will be the right side of your project, your finished project, and you may want to mark that in some way, either with a piece of extra contrasting yarn or a stitch marker. And then it just gives you the directions of exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, ordinarily, when you're doing a pattern, they will tell you right off how many stitches to chain, and for some reason this pattern does not. I just noticed that. I don't know if it's a typo. It has to be a typo. Maybe that's why I never did this pattern, because it never told me how many to chain. So let's flip back to this pattern. This one will tell you, okay, up here, in this pattern, up here it'll tell you to chain 10. So each project will tell you to chain a different number. Now you can see in here there are these different abbreviations, and you may not know what these abbreviations stand for. And in just about any pattern book or even just single patterns, they will have an area where it will explain to you what the abbreviations mean. it's either usually in the front of a book, or in this case it's in the back of the book, or if it's just a single pattern, it will have it up somewhere near the top of the pattern. And it just tells you what these abbreviations mean. Like BEG is the beginning. These indicate the different colors. You will assign each of your colors a letter, and then you can even like make notes and remind yourself which one is color A, color B, color C. CH means chain. DC means double crochet, half double crochet, knit. That's if it's a knit pattern, which we're not talking about knitting. We're just talking about crocheting. Over here we have SL means slip, SC single crochet, SL ST slip stitch, and so on and so on. So if you're not sure what an abbreviation means, either look at the front of the book and the back, or the back of the book, and you will be able to find a reference guide that tells you what all of the different abbreviations mean. And then when you have followed all of the instructions for your particular pattern that you are working, usually we'll give you some final instructions on how to finish the project, whether it be a certain kind of a edging that you crochet, or in this case it wants to put a fringe. And as you can see, there's a long fringe at the bottom of this wrap. And so it's really quite simple as long as you know the language per se and you can understand what the abbreviations mean. It's very simple to follow a pattern. A lot of times if I come across a stitch that I am unfamiliar with, I can just Google it. I can look on YouTube, and there are a lot of helpful videos out there and helpful sites on Google that will show you exactly how to do a stitch. And actually that is how I learned most of my stitches, is by looking it up on the internet. I hope this video on how to read a pattern has been helpful for you, and I hope it has inspired you to find a pattern that's interesting and to start a project. Thanks a lot for watching, friends, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.